News Unpeeled. And today, we're going to again look at, we're going to look at one very, very, very specific news event, and that is the acquisition of Luxexcell by Meta. And I think it's a really important thing to talk about, and it's a really important acquisition for the simple reason that we are thinking of the 3D printing industry as, let's say, a $15 billion, $10 to $15 billion a year industry. Essentially what we do is we make geometries, we make shapes very quickly in a particular place of a specific geometry, um, and we do that well. And we don't know where to apply that technology, but we're growing, and we're used to seeing that we grow. The application in orthopedics grows a little bit every year, and it takes 30 years to make orthopedics a success. And then other things like jigs of fixtures in a number of 2, 3 years already grow our market. But we shouldn't forget is that we make optimal geometries. That's what we do. So when you're making a prototype for your office, you're making the best geometry that you can make at that time to prototype your a headphone or your whatever thing, right? But at the same time, when the guys at GE and stuff are making a turbine blade that's lighter and better and makes that engine go further and lighter and improves the performance of that plane, changes the seat mile, makes it cheaper for that airline to transport passengers, all of a sudden our 3D printing technology has a huge impact on other industries, the aero engine industry, aircraft leasing industry, and the competitiveness and the need of aircraft companies to buy new airplanes. All right. So all of a sudden, we as a small industry could be making parts that have a certain value to us, but could have a giant kind of industry winning, industry capturing value to others. And I think the Luxexcell acquisition is a really, really good example of that. So first, a little bit about Luxexcell. As a company that's been around since 2009. It's Belgian Dutch. It was originally Dutch, kind of moved to Belgium. It's got a bunch of investors in it. Series C round, about 22 million. KLA Technor, SET, PMV, which is kind of a local government kind of affiliated and investor. Innovation Industries, Munich Venture Partners. And it's been trying to make lenses of a certain kind since around 2009 when it got started. There's an individual entrepreneur. He left. There's a bunch of teams that were brought in. They brought in the CEO from SolidScape at one point. They kind of modernized during the way, and they evolved their business during the way. First, they were very focused on lead and armatures and the lead industry. Then they became focused on trying to make just regular glasses. So they're trying to make lenses for just regular glasses. And then they also went into all sorts of Fresnel lenses and all sorts of advanced optics at the same time. Before later pivoting essentially yet again to kind of more smart glasses, AR, VR glasses, these kind of things. So this is a great example of this is a startup, but hey, it's 2009 is a really long time ago for a startup, if we're being really honest. This is a company that's reportedly doing like 2 to 3 million in revenue. It's got 22 million in venture funding. So compared to a lot of American startups, this is much longer. It's been around for much longer. It's it's taken 22 million, which is a good amount of money in Europe, not so much in the United States, and for a VC-backed startup. And it's pivoted again and again and again, right? Going to different types of things in optics. Now, essentially, the company has a process, resin-based process that allows it to make optically clear surfaces, optically clear lenses. And it's been trying to commercialize this very basic technology in all sorts of different ways for the entire existence of its company. So this is another thing that we often see in 3D printing, where we see companies that have a really interesting technology and don't know where to use it. Fortify is a great example, where we've got a technology where we're able to, in an organized way, place fibers in a structure, and we don't really know what to do with that, how to commercialize it. Now, maybe in RF, they found an application, I think, has legs. Previously, they were doing tooling inserts, which I always thought was stupid. So we always have the problem that our technology can do so much, and we don't know where it extracts the most value. So that took that company over a decade to figure that out and try to figure that out. Now, what are Luxexcell's glasses used for? Lenses used for? Eyeglasses, first off. So the ophthalmic eyeglasses, prescription glasses, bifocal glasses you can make with this stuff. Now, what's also interesting is you can make a glass and you can kind of pick and place in that lens or in a part of that lens a chip or a circuit or some kind of electronic or some kind of device. Right. And there's not a lot trying to do that with powder bed fusion or something like that. There's not a lot of technologies. And there's also not a lot, well, there's no technologies at the moment that we can really at scale make optically clear glasses in the tens of thousands, hundreds of thousands. There's glassamer, and there's lots of technologies that are getting there and will get there. Uh, but there's no one real manufacturing technology for optically clear 3D printed items, right? At the moment, the ones that are getting there, it's very difficult to then stop the print at one point and put a chip inside with a pick and place machine and then continue the print. You couldn't do that with a bunch of these technologies. So that is a decided advantage when you're trying to make very compact electronics, right? Now, we can make with these things. Uh, you can integrate LCD film in them, which could mean that you can get like glasses that change their tint or project things on the screen. You can make smart glasses, AR, VR glasses, and you can make viewing areas in these glasses as well. If we look at some of the examples here, this is a very mock-up of some smart glasses. We can do some of this projection technology and this kind of an approach, which is one of the things that we could be doing. We can produce at scale, which I think is very important. And here we see an example of the integrated technology. Now, this is something you cannot do with a lot of other technologies. Now, reportedly, Luxexcell was a supplier on Project Aria, which is kind of like the Meta's Project Tango, if you will, if you're familiar with that from a long time ago from Google. It's kind of a test bed kind of glasses to map the environment and map the real world and figure out how to, add a layer of meaning or to hoover up data from the real world to capture that test bed in the surroundings. So Meta is familiar with it. It's said already in the statement that Meta was somewhere there was some kind of partnership relationship happening, right? And if we look at the types of glasses we can do, so maybe Meta has looked at this and said, okay, wait, we can integrate our technology in this, making the glasses lighter and easier and some kind of way. Maybe we can integrate these AR, VR viewing areas into the glasses, like you see in the image in front of you. And that maybe gives us a better example, maybe gives us a better definition, or maybe makes it more comfortable to wear these things a long time with less eye strain. I'm imagining this is the case. So that kind of unique lens integration ability to integrate lots of functionality into one thing might give Meta an edge, right? Now, there's another thing here that's really obvious, and so obvious that not a lot of articles, there's not a lot of articles about this, given the impact, by the way. And of those, they don't really mention this that specifically, at least the ones I've read so far. And this is the reason why we're doing this. With Luxexcell, we can make prescription lenses. Now, why would I want to do that? Because around 60% of children, or a quarter of children, 70% of adults or older adults have glasses or contact lenses. Now, what does that mean? If I have an AR and VR headset, I would have to wear my contacts or a pair of glasses beneath it. And that, of course, means that there's some real estate on my ear or my nose that's being taken, right, by these glasses. And it means that I can't really make really sleek, really close to my eyeglasses. So what the concrete advantage I think that Meta has from this is, first, it can integrate AR and viewing windows in this in an optimal way. You get less eye strain, more comfort, right? Second, it can integrate technology into these glasses in the sense of dropping in chips or other items, right? Third, it can integrate viewing screens, additional viewing areas, like more think of Google Glass, kind of additional kind of clock and other kind of displays apart from the main AR VR display technology into the same glasses, into the same print. And it can make these things prescription, which means you could go to Meta's website or something, input whatever prescription you need, and you could get the VR AR headset, the metaverse kind of headset that would mean that you don't have to wear those extra glasses, which would mean that the Meta one could be more comfortable, and you could wear it for longer, and it would mean that you don't have to worry about your eye contacts drying out, or you wouldn't have to worry about that kind of thing. At the same time, they can also be bifocal and stuff like this, so it gives a lot of advantages to them, right? And it could really, really give them edge, especially this eyeglasses thing. And I'm surprised it doesn't mention, but the eyeglasses thing, in addition to all the other things that they can do with these glasses, may very well give Meta a decided advantage over other companies and other partners and fellow travelers in this area. Right? We have to forget, they want us to wear these AR and VR headsets all the time. Right? They want us to wear them for hours and hours on a time to entertain ourselves, to work in them, and all this. That's the vision. That's the idea for us to spend hours and hours a day on them. So they have to be ultimately comfortable, and they have to not be sweaty. And I don't know if you've ever done an AR or VR experience or whatever, and the headset is always kind of annoying and sweaty and bulky and stupid, and you don't want that if you're going to be glued to Meta's advertising partners for 4 or 5 hours a day. You need that thing to be comfortable. So I think the comfort and the glasses for the glasses wearing people, the ability to integrate technology, make these things shrink them enough in effect, and add particular viewing windows and things to it that are optimal. I think is the real reason why Meta bought Luxexcell. Now, what I think is really interesting is that means that there's a optically clear vendor that's now going to be off limits, going to be swallowed up by Meta, and we're never going to see that do anything for waveguides or other kind of optics or electro-optical devices. It can be anti-competitive, but does illustrate the value of this kind of thing, right? This is a €3 million revenue company, less than that, right? In a 10 to 15 billion revenue industry, but Meta itself spends 10 billion, right, a year reportedly on developing the metaverse. So in that $10 billion a year, it's crusade to get these headsets on people. Luxexcel just ended up being a rounding error, and I think that's the really important takeaway here: is that we have a bunch of technologies that all make a specific geometry at a specific place, a specific time, and if we have the optimal geometry, we can get a customized or mass customized or a higher performing structure that could have much bigger effects than just that single part would signify. It could be the tip of the spear of somebody's charge into AR or VR. It could be the tip of the spear of a new industry. I think that's the real takeaway today of this. So I think it's great news for us, and it's a great thing to think about what our industry can do in producing that optimal geometry. And to me, that's what it's all about: producing the best geometry to enable other industries to grow and to enable other companies to outcompete. Thank you very much for your time. Have a great day. My name is Joris Fields, and this is another edition of 3D Printing News Unpeeled. Thanks to 3dprint.com. Have a great day.